In today's show, Bitcoin Bart Simpson pattern returns as the Bitcoin price dives 7% in hours, and checking out the latest technical analysis from crypto analyst Mikhail Bende-Pop. This one is still the same, long range around 29,300 and possibly the CME gap. If it breaks and flips 29,700 to 29,900, I'm assuming we'll be targeting the upside. And then finally, more upside can be expected for Bitcoin in the form of 32,800 and or possibly $35,000. And quoting material indicators, Fire Charts 2.0 shows 60 million in Bitcoin, bid liquidity popping up at 29,000. Whether it gets defended, filled, or spoofed determines the next trade. And checking out this update from Crypto Tony, I will simply be looking for short opportunities in this range. Either we lose the range low and we'll short a retest, or if we retest the EQ of the range and reject, I will look for a short position flat until one of these triggers plays out. And as Philby shares here, some of the best chops we've seen, to be honest. High quality stuff. I'd say it's always the same. People desperate not to miss the bottom, but this one is particularly funny how it's instantly reversing trade chasers getting absolutely ruined. Also in today's show, cybersecurity firm supports Bitcoin mission, converting their entire balance sheet into BTC, following in the footsteps of MicroStrategy. As they announced here on Twitter today, Octagon Networks became the first cybersecurity company to convert its entire balance sheet into Bitcoin. We'll also start accepting payments in Bitcoin and offering a discount to encourage the use of Bitcoin. And this just in, breaking news, U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis has officially introduced her Bitcoin and crypto bill. This is a pretty big day for all Bitcoiners. In today's show, I'm going to be sharing the major points in this bipartisan bill introduced by Cynthia Lummis as well as Senator Gillibrand. Also in today's show, the crypto analyst who nailed the Bitcoin May 2021 collapse predicts an incoming Bitcoin rally and shares his target, as he shares here in this chart, which is $39,500. And he goes on to share, equally, the low could have already been put in. Shortest term volatility is always the hardest to predict, as near random. It is the longer term indicators, as per the monthly chart, that gives the most reliability to technical analysis. No one last year conceived the Bitcoin price falling to the previous all-time high, and yet now clarion calls abound. Is it possible? Sure, but people need to balance the renewed risk to the upside against the risk to the downside. After the double top, I revised my technical targets. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Here at Crypto News Alerts, I drop a brand new episode every single day. The goal is to get to 100,000 subs. If you like getting that crypto, be sure to smash that subscribe button. That's right, and ring that bell to turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. And today's episode is brought to you by BlockFi, the leading provider of financial products and services for crypto investors and the #1 platform to buy, sell, and earn crypto. They're currently working with over 1 million clients worldwide, along with 350 global institutions, and currently have over $10 billion in assets under management. And one of their flagship products is their BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards Visa credit card, where you earn 3.5% Bitcoin back on all your purchases within your first 90 days, then 1.5% Bitcoin back thereafter. They've currently paid out over $15 million in crypto rewards, and you can see if you are approved with no impact to your credit score. Another flagship product is their BlockFi loans, where you can borrow money at rates as low as a 4.5% APR. And the best part is you don't have to sell your crypto to get the cash. That's right, you simply use your crypto as collateral. There are no credit checks whatsoever, and you can get funded in as little as 24 hours. So to take advantage of this, click my referral link in the description right down below. You also receive up to a $250 bonus for signing up today. So let's get this crypto, shall we? All right, welcome back to another episode of Crypto News Alerts. I'm your host, JV. How's it going, crypto fam? Make some noise in the live chat. The Bitcoin firmly recommitted to its trading range on June 7th after a fresh move higher was met off with a swift sell-off, which you can see here in the Bitcoin 1-hour candle chart. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView showed Bitcoin rejecting decisively at the resistance it last encountered on June 1st. Now, the USD/Bitcoin pair had delivered gains in excess of 6%, but the approach to 32,000 changed the mood, and Bitcoin gave back almost 2,500 in just a matter of hours. Now, a classic Bart Simpson price structure thus formed on the hourly timeframes as frustrated traders came to terms with the existing paradigm remaining unchallenged. Quoting crypto analyst Mikhail Bende-Pop here, if we hold around $29,000, still presumably enough reason to go for a slight run, and $29,000 area is still CME gap territory, which he points out here. He also updated us here this morning. This one is still the same, long range around 29,300, and possibly the CME gap. If it breaks and flips 29,700 to 29,900, I'm assuming we'll be targeting the upside. And then finally, more upside can be expected for Bitcoin in the form of 32,800 and or possibly $35,000. Now, in addition to the CME futures gap, providing a potential target at levels seen before the gains, on-chain analytics resource, material indicators noted significant buy interest already lined up at those levels, as he points out. Right here, Fire Charts 2.0 shows 60 million and Bitcoin bid liquidity popping up at $29,000. Whether it gets defended, filled, or spoofed determines the next trade. Now, should that not hold, targets focus on the area around 28,000 next as credible crypto. Shares here, not much of a reaction, melted through it. So this level is now likely to act as resistance. At this point, I think we are probably headed to the lows with the red X. And checking out this chart, the red X shows that $28,000 support level. Now, may see some relief in between. Again, always the sideways chop slash ranging is a part of the bottoming process. In my opinion, and quoting Crypto Tony with his Bitcoin update, I will simply be looking for short opportunities in this range. Either we lose the range low and will short a retest, or we retest the EQ of the range and reject. I will look for a short position flat until one of these triggers plays out. And quoting crypto analyst Philby of Decent Trader, some of the best chops we've seen. To be honest, high quality stuff. I'd say it's always the same. People desperate not to miss the bottom, but this one is particularly funny how it is instantly reversing. Trade chasers getting absolutely ruined. Long traders are battling volatility sparked by 24-hour liquidations, totaling $60 million for the King crypto and another $158 million on altcoins. Data from analytics platform, CoinGlass confirmed, as you can see here in this chart. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and alts thus severely underperform. Compare with notionally correlated United States equities. Both the S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite Index finished the June 6 trading session above the open, putting their relationship with crypto in question. And as pointed out here by Yassine, crypto analyst at ARK Invest, nonetheless noted that Bitcoin's overall correlation to the S&P had reached new all-time highs on a rolling 30-day basis. As pointed out here, Bitcoin prints 9 consecutive weekly candles for the first time in history. So thank God we finally got a green candle this week. And as Yassine points out here, Bitcoin's correlation with the S&P 500 reaches an all-time high. And before I break down next story of the day, cybersecurity firm supports Bitcoin mission in converting their entire balance sheet into BTC. But first, let's take a quick look at the overall crypto market. As you can see, all the major cryptocurrencies are currently correcting. And in the red, Bitcoin down 6% for the day, trading just above 29,500. We have Ether down 8.2%, trading just above $1,750. Binance Coin down 9%, trading at $279, while Cardano, Solana, Polkadot are all bleeding in the blood red. But all right, now let's break down our next story of the day. Another business jumps aboard the Bitcoin bandwagon. Octagon Networks, a global cybersecurity network company with over 20 employees, announced on June 6th that it had finished the process of converting its liquid assets and entire balance sheet into Bitcoin. Let's freaking go. The group will also start accepting Bitcoin payments for all of their services with a 50% discount when paid in Bitcoin. As they announced here on Crypto Twitter today, Octagon Networks became the first cybersecurity company to convert its entire balance sheet into Bitcoin. We'll also start accepting payments in Bitcoin and offering a discount to encourage the use of Bitcoin. This is a pretty big deal. Obviously, they're following in the footsteps of MicroStrategy, the first publicly traded company to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. Now, Cointelegraph spoke to the Ethiopian co-founders of Octagon Networks, who preferred to remain anonymous. They explained that adopting Bitcoin was driven by the belief in Bitcoin and volition to support the network. As they share here, we are large proponents and believers in Bitcoin. We believe in a truly decentralized form of money that can be transferred at the speed of light. And they also added that the $25,000 area could be the bottom of the bear market, while qualifying that the Bitcoin they have accumulated doesn't affect our operating costs, as everyone who works here is a sole believer in the mission of Bitcoin. The team stressed that, contrary to a commonly held belief that adopting Bitcoin is an attack on fiat currency, the group is proud of its Ethiopian roots and continues to use local currencies as well as Bitcoin. Quoting them again here, people are interpreting this as an attack on USD or our Ethiopian currency. It is neither. We use both daily for our day-to-day lives. Our decision about Bitcoin is simply because we believe in the secured distributed network Bitcoin has created. Nonetheless, while the volatility of Bitcoin is too much for those in the Western world to stomach, Octagon Networks explained that some of its employees choose Bitcoin as their preferred currency. Across Africa, several currencies, especially the CFA franc, a currency in use across 14 African nations, has lost purchasing power while leaving governments powerless. And moreover, Octagon Networks told Cointelegraph that within the cybersecurity industry, Bitcoin is well respected. Over the past decade, Bitcoin has not been hacked, while the hash rate, effectively a network security metric, continues to reach new highs. As they shared here, from a cybersecurity perspective, it makes sense to bet on Bitcoin than anything else. And popular Bitcoin maximalists such as Corey Clipston, founder of Swan Bitcoin, were quick to celebrate another company upgrading its business practices to a Bitcoin standard. As he shares here, let's go, Octagon Networks. And I recently tweeted, massive congrats, Bitcoin game theory in full effect. Let's go. I want to give a quick shout out to iTrust Capital, the #1 crypto IRA platform with over $5 billion in transactions. When it comes to trading crypto, tax-free, look no further than iTrust. You can buy and sell 25 plus cryptocurrencies as well as precious metals such as gold and silver. There are no monthly fees and only a 1% transaction fee. They also offer institutional grade storage. You can get started today opening your account with only $1,000. And for signing up today, you also receive a $100 reward when you fund your account. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description right down below and let's get this crypto tax-free. And before I break down next breaking story of the day, U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis has officially introduced her Bitcoin and crypto bill. And before I break this down for you, first let's take a quick look at the overall crypto market cap, sitting just above $1.2 trillion with $79 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. The current Bitcoin dominance back on the climb at 46.4%, with the Ether dominance at 17.5%. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers in the past 24 hours, practically nothing but Eunice said Leo up 3%, trading at $5.21. And Gala up 0.6%, trading at 7.9 cents, followed by stablecoins because all the major cryptos are currently correcting and in the red. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers for the past week, you can see just a sea of red with just 3 in the green, including XCC up 10.9%, HNT up 8.2%, and BSV up 2.7%. And now checking out one of my favorite indicators, it's the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Shows we're currently rated a 15 out of 100 in extreme fear. Yesterday a 13, last week a 16, and last month an 18. And if you're not familiar with the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, extreme fear can be a sign investors are too worried. That can be a great buying opportunity, like we're witnessing right now. BTFD, buy that freaking dip. And when investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction. But all right, now let's break down our next breaking story of the day. Cynthia Lummis has officially released her landmark bill covering Bitcoin and digital assets. Here are the major points in this bipartisan bill introduced with Senator Gillibrand. Here's the thread. Now, there is also a story published on this, but I'm going to be sharing all the highlights here from this Twitter thread. Medium of exchange. The bill encourages the usage of Bitcoin and digital currencies as a medium of exchange. It provides a tax exemption for transactions up to $200. That's pretty cool right there. Now, commodity or security, the bill defines a framework for differentiating which digital assets are commodities and which are securities. It uses the Howey test to determine that an ancillary asset is not inherently a security. Now, an ancillary asset is an intangible fungible asset that is offered, sold, or provided to a person in connection with the purchase and sale of a security through an arrangement or scheme that constitutes an investment contract. So to be classified as a security, the digital asset must provide the holder with debt or equity interest in a business entity, liquidation rights or entitlement to interest or dividend payments from an entity, profit or revenue share in an entity, derived solely from the entrepreneurial or managerial efforts of others or any other financial interest in the entity. But there is another aspect to it. Digital assets not fully decentralized and which benefit from entrepreneurial or managerial efforts that determine the value of the assets but are not debt or equity or don't create rights to profit or other financial interest in a business entity are not securities if, and this is a big if disclosures are filed with the SEC twice a year. The presumption that an ancillary asset is a commodity can be appealed in court. So if the SEC wants to claim that a given digital asset is a security and not a commodity, it needs to go to court. In sum, the majority of large digital assets would be classified as commodities under the text introduced by Senator Cynthia Lummis and Senator Gillibrand. Now, naturally, the SEC will oversee the securities, whereas the CFTC will regulate the commodities. Bitcoin and Ethereum are guaranteed as commodities. Let me repeat, Bitcoin and Ether are guaranteed as commodities. You gotta love that. Now, Lummis and Gillibrand grants the CFTC exclusive spot market jurisdiction over all digital assets classified as commodities. Exchanges will register with the CFTC to conduct trading activities and abide by some rules. They also point out that a U.S. Bitcoin spot ETF is more likely if the bill is approved. Let's go. Now, SEC and CFTC are tasking with studying and reporting on the creation of a self-regulatory organization that could complement the regulatory work. They are also tasked with developing a set of cybersecurity guidelines for digital asset service providers. And on energy, the bill has also required a study on the power consumption of digital assets. It will seek to determine the best ways to ensure Bitcoin helps society move closer to climate goals with deployment of more renewable energies and clean energy and reducing energy waste. And for miners, the bill provisions that miners are not to be seen as brokers and Bitcoin obtained from their activities is not to be treated as income until converted into fiat currency like dollars. I like that. It also specifies that digital asset lending agreements are not taxable events. And on 401k, the bill requires the Government Accountability Office to analyze the opportunities and risks associated with investing in Bitcoin and digital assets with retirement accounts. Findings are to be reported to Congress, Treasury Department, and Labor Department. And on consumer protections, the bipartisan bill will require providers of digital assets to disclose information about their product, including source code, versioning of the legal treatment of each digital asset. Also, and this is a big one, self-custody. The bill grants the right to a person to keep and control the digital assets they own. This right here is major. Now, other provisions include aspects on stablecoins, advisory committee, and clear definitions for the digital asset space. And of course, you can read more about this. I'll include this article in the show notes below the video in the description. And before I break down final story of the day, the crypto analyst who nailed the Bitcoin May 2021 collapse predicts an incoming Bitcoin rally and shares his target. But first, I want to remind you to smash that show more button right below this video in the description for a detailed analysis of what's going on in the crypto market. That goes for all 1,200 plus videos right here on my YouTube channel. Also, some very helpful resources for you to plug into, including my crypto merch store live at merch.cryptonewsalerts.net. Also, be sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell to turn on all notifications and help out with the YouTube algorithm. And of course, you can follow me on all the major podcasting platforms, from Spotify, home of the Joe Rogan Experience, to Apple's iTunes and Google Play. We're currently receiving over 500,000 downloads per month, so I want to say I greatly appreciate your continued support. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, and TikTok. So wherever you're at, be sure to plug in and follow me there. But all right, now let's break down our final story of the day. A crypto strategist who accurately called Bitcoin's May 2021 meltdown is now predicting a potential rally that can send the king crypto towards its long-term diagonal resistance. Synonymous analyst Dave the Wave tells his 112,000 Twitter followers Bitcoin is trading within an ascending channel and potentially gearing up for a short-term rally to his target, as he shares right here. And in this chart, it shows you that target sitting at about $39,500. It says possible short-term move. And according to the crypto strategist, his target of $39,547 is speculative and is only valid as long as the channel holds. And although Dave the Wave remains cautious, he says that traders who believe Bitcoin will revisit its 2017 cycle high of $20,000 should start thinking about risk management, considering Bitcoin is down big from its all-time high. Quoting him here, no one last year conceived a Bitcoin price falling to the previous all-time high of $20,000, and yet now clarion calls abound. Is it possible? Sure, but people need to balance the renewed risk to the upside against the risks to the downside. After the double top, I revised my technical targets. Simply amazed that I am now more bullish than the once were hyper bulls who have turned bearish or neutral at best since the recent capitulation. And the crypto strategist is also entertaining the possibility that the bear market bottom is already in, as he shares here. Equally, the low could already have been put in. Shortest term volatility is always the hardest to predict, as near random. It is also the longer term indicators, as per the monthly chart, that give the most reliability in technical analysis, aka astrology for men. And looking at the long term time frame, Dave the Wave shows how Bitcoin has always bottomed out after touching the 4-year moving average on the monthly chart, as he shares here, support on the 4-year moving average. So there you have it. What are your thoughts surrounding his short-term price prediction for a $39,500 Bitcoin price? Let me know in the comments right down below. Now for the top 3 comments from yesterday's episode, BitBud wrote, $34,000 to $38,000, as I noted, is next before we drop to sub 20K. As always, thanks for sharing your insights, fam. One love. Our next featured comment comes from Brian Moran, who wrote, I don't think anyone has predicted Bitcoin to $179,000 yet. If you're looking for a new title, A, Cheers, fam. And our third and final featured comment comes from Peter Davies. Can't wait for Bitcoin to crash to $300,000. Now you're speaking my language. Bitcoin crashed to 300,000. Let's go. Referring to Dan Held's post here, where in 2013, Bitcoin crashed to 30 bucks. 2015, Bitcoin crashed to 300 bucks. 2018, Bitcoin crashed to 3,000. And this year, Bitcoin crashed to 30,000. Notice the pattern every 2 to 4 years. We 10x. Let's go. And to be featured on tomorrow's episode, drop me a comment right down below.